What's going on, people? It's your boy 3MG back here with another video, and I just want to say a huge shout out to Abel Green and Mocha, Eddie, Chickinator, Money Man, and whoever else was a part of the video that they just recently made called I think the topic was about violence in video games, or video game violence, and I think their new thing is called The Corner. I think it's like a little show that they're gonna do, 30-minute show. I'm gonna definitely link it below because I think it's very important, and I think it's actually very interesting to hear and listen to. So it was something that really touched me because I've witnessed this, you know, almost every day or almost every time I go to work. I see this thing. I see this happen with the youth and young adults, and it's quite sad. So the question Abel asked everyone was, do video games influence violence in America? And I'm gonna say to some degree, yes, to some degree. And my reason is because if you play video games, especially video games that involves violence or has a implementation of anything of violence or elements of violence, you'll notice that there's a lot of depictions, or it depicts a lot of pieces of reality. I see it as violent video games are a reflection of our reality to a certain extent. And the reason why I say that is because without what goes on in our lives, how can these devs even develop such a world, right, of chaos or anything violent? How would you be able to come up with the mastermind of Grand Theft Auto if there wasn't some type of existence of that occurring in reality, right? How would you come up with Street Fighter if there wasn't existence of karate or all these moves that people learn all around the world and implementing it into some sort of, you know, anime, right? So yes, I think video games do, you know, influence violence in America to some extent, to a certain extent, some degree. And what makes it worse is when it involves, or when it takes over a youth or someone who's mentally ill. I think that's where the violence comes from, because, you know, and like I said, it's not a huge percentage, but yes, it does play a role. You know, it definitely impacts a youth's life, especially when they're mentally ill or they're suffering, or there's a lot of things going on in that person's life. You know, like I said, I work and I see these things all the time, and it's very important. But I'm gonna answer this in two ways. I'm actually gonna answer what he asked, and I'm also gonna add what makes a violent video game, right? What's a violent game? And I'm gonna answer that one last. But to continue moving forward with, you know, the first question, yeah, I think if certain video games lay in the hands of the wrong person, you know, the outcome is not going to be pretty. That person may suffer from some mental illness or may have history of something, and in some cases I play video games to relieve stress, but the next person may play video games because they are stressed and may use elements in that video game to actually bring into their reality and can cause damage or injury to someone else, you know, aka violence. There's some people out there, like, I mean, myself, I grew up playing Grand Theft Auto since I was 8 years old, and every time I turned the game off, I knew it was just a video game. It was the way I was raised, the way I was brought up, and I thank God that I was healthy and I didn't suffer from any illness or depression or whatnot. And it's sad because some people suffer from these, you know, symptoms, or these or diagnosed with certain things, and being given these, you know, games or activities or something that can really impact them is dangerous. So yeah, I do believe that video games influence violence in America, because with the mindset and current state of most youth or young adults in our generation today, video games definitely captures the attention of almost like 75% of our youth population, and that's like a fact. There's all types of games that can fit for all types of children, and then this rolls into my next point. Now, what makes a violent video game? You can have a kid who's mentally ill, and some of you may disagree, but I don't see why you would. I think almost everyone would know that a game like Super Smash Brothers, Pokemon, and all these other games are actually violent. as cute and fuzzy and funny as the games may look, because they're using some of your most fun and iconic characters, those games are actually violence. When you are playing as a character and are given abilities, right, to take control and decide whether or not you can cause harm or to cause damage or depict some sort of violent act or cause a violent act to another, that's still part of violence. So if I'm playing Super Smash Brothers and I'm playing as freaking Super Mario and I'm given abilities of punching, throwing fireballs, that's an act of violence at the end of the day. And this is not getting off topic with Abel. This is just me getting more in depth and personal with, you know, what makes games violence. You know, this is just an add-on, and these are things that I would love for you guys to actually reach out in the comment section and let me know. Do you agree or disagree? What do you think is a violent video game or not? Because shout out to Mocha. I think, matter of fact, shout out to everybody on there. I think someone mentioned Manhunt, the video game. A game like that is just pure violent, and I think it is true. Certain games you can play and it won't be depicted as that, but at the end of the day, if the game involves this type of genre or element or this type of activity, it can be it is still a violent game. You have a cute, funny ass game like Pokemon, but Pokemon has a form of violent act. If you're going up against another Pokemon and you're doing attacks, that's still considered violence. You know what I mean? As stupid as it may sound, because we believe only games that involves like blood and gore and horns and just killings are the only thing that are considered violent, and that's what's projected into our minds. But to be honest with you, and it has never been the case where we've seen all these little fuzzy characters like Super Mario when he jumps on top of the turtle and, you know, kills the turtle, I should say, or the turtle goes back into his shell and he uses it to hit other, you know, creatures while you're going across the board. We are, you know, taught that, oh, that's not violent. But to be honest with you, it is. And in the wrong hands, even that can cause damage. You know, you don't know. Even in the wrong hands, that can cause harm. So yes, video games do play a huge role in violence in America, especially in this day and age, in this generation where video games are one of the top leading things next to music and social media. So I think if it ain't music that's causing these kids to cause harm to others, it's video games. And yeah, that's definitely a fact. I'm not saying it's the only, you know, thing, but of course video games do play a huge role, and I think video games do, you know, impact a lot of people's lives. But yeah, this is just something I really wanted to touch base on. And to be real with you, I think video games once again is a reflection of our reality. It's just that, you know, these developers and designers have such an amazing vision that they can change, and you know we have the power to change these fictional worlds and take our reality and add extras and just create worlds like Gears of War, Halo, Black Ops, Oddworld, Rayman Legends, you know, because they have elements of human activity, but with the twist. You know, it sounds confusing, but it really is not. It shouldn't be. It's common sense, and I know a lot of you guys may understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, just real quick, and this is something, like I said, it's important. I would love to hear what you guys think, and if you disagree or whatnot, let me know in the comment section below. But it's your boy 3MG. Shout out to Abel, the corner. I'm gonna just say the corner because that's how I'm assuming now. Mocha, Eddie, Chickenator, Money Man, and whoever else was a part of that. Shout out to y'all. Great topic. Hopefully you guys, you know, really speak on some more serious topics every week, because these are things that I myself personally are interested to listen to, and I think a lot of people would too. Like, these are things that people need to really sit down and just understand. It's great topics, great conversation. But yeah, it's your boy, and I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one. Peace.